Let's actually do something this time. It's actually fun. We're 5 minutes late. Allow your feet to touch and bring your hands together in the center. So we're going to do a little calibration before we start. Pull the head top up to its highest point. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel where all of the points of connection, your heels, your toes, the outside edge of the foot. And then relax the parts in the center. So we said the head, top, and the feet. So let the shoulders relax, let the tailbone relax. If you have tension in your legs and your knees, allow that to relax as well. The same thing with your face. And then take a deep breath. We're going to start with some qigong, with some breathing. So inhaling as if you're gathering energy, like you're pulling the qi into the center. And imagine that your body is not a human body, but instead something else. You can imagine a fishing net. And so when you're breathing, you want to stretch. If you don't know what a fishing net looks like, you can imagine a towel or some type of rag or cloth. But when you're breathing, pushing into your feet, reaching out to the sides, reach all the way up to the corners and all the way up to the top, and then let everything relax. So expanding out to the sides. Feel in the outside of your leg that the energy is traveling outward, expanding everything, and then let it relax. On this one, for the breathing strategy, I'm lifting the base of the torso. And on the exhale, letting everything relax. So activate your toes. So with this kind of full breathing, with this movement, going at your own pace, don't worry about what anyone else is doing. Check one thing. See if the quality of the movement, the quality of your breathing changes. If you even put just a half smile, just the corners of the mouth being activated. Imagine if you're doing the stretch, the expanding, you can imagine that your body is like a sponge. And the more that you can allow it to relax, the more energy that you can absorb, the less interference, the less resistance. As you relax more, you may find areas while you're doing this that feel like there's tension in your back and in your arms. Imagine that you can stretch past it. And do 3 more at your own pace, going on your own. Like a balloon expanding. Fishing net is a good idea because there's lots of strands, like your tendons and muscles, which you can stretch out. And then bring your feet back together. When you're finished, go at your own pace, breathe on your own, and check your center line, and bring your hands together in the center. And then we'll calibrate. So make sure there's energy all the way at the crown chakras. The power is going up. Relax the brow, open the vision to see 180. Open your nostrils and your sinuses to breathe more. Activate the corners of your mouth. Relax your jaw and connect the tongue to the upper palate. Again, the softer we can make the connection to the upper palate, if you have to force, there's less energy can travel through. So imagine like a piece of taffy or some bubble gum, something that's soft. Keep it lightly pressed. The chin is tucked, the neck is straight, so the ears going over the shoulders. The term I use is rolled back and relaxed, but you can think of them as being suspended with gravity, hanging vertically. We have a space inside the armpits, so one of the books, one of the classics says like a robin's egg can sit gently in there without being crushed, which means there's a palm, there's a roundness to this shape. The center is supporting and the tailbone is relaxed, so allow the tailbone to sink, and then also open the lower back this way. So it's unfolding one way and the other way as well, which means to keep the torso straight, if we do that, we can't have slouching this way, right? Sway back. So allow that to sink. And then the same thing in the front. The energy between the folds here is sinking so that we feel a geometric shape, almost like a rectangle. The same shape as it's sort of the same proportion as a deck of playing cards or a box of cereal, right? This rectangular shape between the hips and the shoulders. And then relax the tailbone so that imagine a connection. There's an arch, the tailbone going down, connecting to the toes. The knees have a bend in them. I don't talk about the knees too much, only that they're not straight, they're just bent. Feel that your ankles are strong. Can you flex the ankles? Can you expand them? Allow your heels to sink into the ground, and like you're pulling the heel forward, and then your toes, you can grip them and then allow them to relax and try to keep that same activated shape with as little tension in the tendons as possible. And then on the inside of the foot, pull up on the inside of the arch. You can coordinate that with lifting the base of the torso, like two valves opening at the same time to move chi, and you can time it with your breathing. We didn't talk about the arms and hands. Elbows are relaxed, wrists are relaxed, fingertips are touching. This posture has a space, so feel the chi between the hands. My camera is having a focus issue. Take a deep breath and relax. We're going to do a little bit of stretching, and then we're going to look at some Tai Chi. So starting, I like to work from the top down. So take one hand, reach across to the other ear, and then the important part here is we're stretching the neck. So I want you to focus on, you can have your feet gripping the ground, activated, and making your structure go up through the neck. And then with that, like that strong structure, we're just taking it and twisting it a bit. And we're using this hand and this elbow as a gauge. So I want you to push up through the back of your neck and reach out through your hands. I know a lot of times I say, oh, can you feel it in your fingertips or in your forearms when we do this kind of stretching? But that's not the important part of it. I want you to push up through your center line. Remember the breathing that we just did a second ago. And then relax. You can come back to the center. We'll do the other side. So, reaching, push up through the back of the neck. Keep your chin tucked. Then pull your elbows into a straight line and try to line up your nose with your thumb. So if my camera is the line, and then this elbow here, don't allow it to turn inwards this way. Pull it back, straight line, and then relax. And then next, we're just going to turn some circles around the head. So lock your shoulders in place And then imagine that gravity is doing the work. And in Tai Chi, the idea for the little dot that's inside the yin and yang, the two dots that we see in the Tai Chi symbol, that means we never go to the extreme. In fact, one translation of Tai Chi Chuan is grand extremities boxing, great extremes, looking for the ultimate in yin and yang. So when we say let gravity do the work, we're still extending the same way we pushed up in the last exercise. Even though we're letting the head top relax, we don't want the vertebrae to fall in on themselves. So we want to extend the power to the head top. If you haven't changed directions already, change directions. And remember the long, deep breathing that we started with. So come back to the center and then check again, right? Even after we do that, oh, it feels good, so we relax. So make the posture correct. And then shoulder rolls. Make these circles as large as you can and make the pivot point as close to the center as you can. I want you to feel your collarbones, your shoulder blades, all of your ribs. Where your ribs connect, the sternum is like a plate right here in the center, and the ribs connect to it. I want you to see if you can get that connection where the ribs connect to the sternum, also moving. So it's relaxed, but at the point where we're pulling the tissue and stretching the tissue, it's not relaxed. The balloon itself is completely relaxed, but the surface has surface tension. The same thing when you're stretching the muscle and tendon over the bone. We see a yin and yang. By relaxing, we can allow it to open more, change directions, and keep the breathing in mind, the same long, relaxed breathing. And if you have the same idea in your mind, like the net or the sponge, you can actually feel your muscles and tendons will relax and open more. You can make the circle even larger, more relaxed. And then come back to the center. Lock your hips in place, your shoulders turning, and I refer to it as the jawline. Lock your jaw and your hips facing forward. We're just turning around the center, breathing deep. Check to see that you have a very serious expression. If you do, you can change it to a half smile. Minimum. You can have a really big smile if you want. I won't demonstrate that. And so the same thing, we want to be extending power to the head top. The long breathing that we started with, and really send your hands on vacation. So see if you can, by turning, generate enough power that the energy is going out to the fingertips. In fact, if you come back to the center, let's do an exercise where we're just using the abs. Try to keep your spinal column straight. Relax your tailbone. Breathe deep. And then come back to the center. We're going to do, first we're going to turn around the hips a little bit. So if you stretch, when you stretch, if you go to work out, when you go to walk, when you go to jog or run or do anything where you're using your legs, the hips are the drivers. It's the largest joint in the body with the most connective tissue. So always take time. I refer to drawing a circle. If you have, imagine you have a hula hoop that's suspended, and you pressing at every point along the inside of the hula hoop. Try to keep your back and neck straight. Or sometimes I refer to the square when we talk about the square step, the square base. imagine you can hit all four corners, in the rear, in the front, on the left, and on the right. So really press into the corners. By the way, all of these are your stretch. So where it feels good, you can work on those areas more. Let's do another one. Activating your toes. Push your tailbone back and away. Relax your shoulders, your spine, your head, and your neck. Remember to breathe when you're upside down. And then really see if you can let everything relax. If your fingers touch the ground, that's okay. You can walk them forwards or backwards. But try to imagine that your vertebrae with gravity opening, the neck opening, the head top. A lot of times on this one, we still want to look up. We still have a little tension in the neck, some feeling that we're going to look forward. But instead, allow the crown chakra to point directly towards the center of the earth. The nadir, N-A-D-I-R, that's the point at the bottom of the sphere. Breathing deep. Let your torso, arms, shoulders, wrists relax. Feel the energy moving in the direction of gravity. And then when you're ready, we're going to activate the feet and the lower legs, getting the chi down to the base, and we're going to unroll the spine, inflating all the way up. So on your own, expanding. And then relax. Next, with the knees, if you put your legs together, when we practice Tai Chi Harmony, when we practice this posture, the legs are together. The feet can be connected as such, and they can be accurately up to 45 degrees. Even if my knees stay in line with my toes, with my heels touching, there's an energetic loop at the base. So for this next one, I want you to have your feet together and imagine that if each leg has chi moving inside of it, when you put them together, like if you have one light that has a certain candle brightness and you have another light, when you put them together it becomes more. So the same thing with the legs. Imagine when you're putting them together that one leg strengthens the other leg and that energetically there's a connection. And then from there, return to the deep breathing that we started with, the long breathing today. And relax your shoulders, feel your hands, and whether you use any sort of speed or power, or you're using your mind, I want you to rub your hands together and generate a little bit of heat. Breathing, and then press your hands directly so that Lao Guang, this round point, sits over top of your kneecap. And I want you to feel the energy drain from your hands into your knees. And then activate your toes. Grip your feet while your hands are softly pressed, and feel the changes that happen in your knee. And then relax, come back upright, relax your tailbone, make your posture correct again. And then while you're rubbing your hands, this should be an example for everybody having knee issues, right? Anybody having a knee injury, this is something you can pass on to friends. If you've studied with my class for some time, you know activating the toes does the trick. But this is an example where once your hands feel warm, while the energy is transferring, wiggle your toes, practice gripping your toes. Long breathing, do the same breathing. And by gripping the toes, there's two ways. We can, like an animal, like a claw for an eagle or a hawk, right? Or a bear, a tiger, gripping, right? Like curling. Or we can think of it like a nail gun, like driving directly downwards into the ground. Either way, practice changing between the two and feel how it affects your knees. And then come back to the center. We're going to extending, standing straight, extending one foot, practice the balance, relax your tailbone, and just pressing like you're reaching your toe as far as you can while keeping the rest of the structure correct, and then pull the toe all the way up. So like pressing the gas or the brake, but keep everything in the correct alignment, and then reach with the toe, like you're extending your chi all the way past the toes. And then the same thing here, like you're extending the heel. The toe, pulling the toes up, helps us extend the heel. Breathing deep. And then change again. So you want to do some stretching where you feel like you're expanding it, and then some actual movement where you're pressing. And then change to the other side. Grip the ground, and then make sure everything else is correct. And then the same thing. Extend like you're pressing, like you're reaching all the way. And then push the heel, lift the toe. So do some that's a stretch. Remember the breathing that we started with. And then the same thing with the net. Imagine if you have the right structure with your leg. When you do the stretch, that like the sponge or the net, we can stretch just a little bit further. Same thing with the heel, pushing it a little bit further. We're going to do one more on each side. This is, if you reach that forward, push your tailbone back and away. You can use your leg to support. You can use the wall. You can use anything that you like to support. This is a stretch. So stretch your hamstrings. Keep your back straight. Remember to breathe. And then either looking past your fingertips, past your toes, or tucking the chin and extending the energy from the head top in that direction. When you're ready, grip the ground, breathing deep, push up to extend. Let's do the other side. So activating the toes. Again, this isn't about the balance, so you can use something for support. This is about the stretch. You can just use your leg, pushing the tailbone back and away, reaching out, and then the same thing, the head top. Either looking up or tilting down. Make your spine straight. Breathe deep. When you're ready, activate your feet and push up through standing upright. Let's do a little bit of X-stepping to warm up, and then we're going to talk about the sort of 8 basic movements. We're going to look at a small piece of animation, and then we're going to do the Taiji form. We're going to do all 3 sections, and with whatever time we have left from there, we'll come back and review posture. So if we start, when we start this form, we start in Taiji harmony. So this is a 1, and then we separate. We have left is 2. So this is, we have left and right. And then if we step forwards and back, we have left, right, front, and back. So we have 4. We can add up and down. And then combining movement. So from the center, if we step shoulder width wide and shoulder width deep, this is 1 square, 2 squares, 3 squares, 4. So from the center, practice your balance, right? Keep your head top up, relax your tailbone, activate your feet, and then stepping back to the corner, grip the ground, and bring the other foot with you. And then when you get settled, roll the foot, grip the ground, sink the tailbone into that foot, and bring the other foot along. Try to keep your hips level so they're not tilting here, and then also not shifting forwards and back and not rolling. So step shoulder width wide, grip the ground. Sink the tailbone, look at something stable, and then return back to the center. Grip. Step forward, grip the ground, relax the tailbone, push the head top up. Step back, grip. So this X-stepping is about half the battle, right? If we talk about martial arts, if we talk about Kung Fu, your feet get you in and out of the fight. So footwork is super important. Having strong legs is vital for martial arts, for self-defense, for boxing. And this X-stepping that we practice contains something in Chinese philosophy referred to as the Wu Xing, right, which is the 5 elements. And we're just going to review them again today quickly. There was some interest the last time that I had talked about it. We'll talk more about the Wu Xing on in the intro to acupuncture workshop that's coming up. But the idea is the 5 elements. The first one is earth. If we stand in Tai Chi harmony, or we just stand like this with the hands to the side, this is very balanced. For somebody doing meditation, you can stand here for hours, right? Maybe the sun goes down after you stand for some time. You can be very balanced. The structure of the bones and tendons will keep you in an upright position. So, but if somebody comes along and pushes, right, we have to move. So it's the most balanced but the least sort of stable, right? And then if we in the X step, when we step back to the corner, and if I step back shoulder width wide, shoulder width deep, going backwards is wood. And so the elements, the quality of wood is like, the movie I always use is The Matrix, the reference. Everybody, you'd be surprised how many people have not seen this movie, but everybody has seen the commercial for it where the dude is dodging this kind of thing. And this is the most idea for wood, that our opponent's strikes find us to be so flexible and soft. So this is what allows us to be defensive. And just like wood, the properties of wood, old wood is very brittle, young wood is very flexible. We want to be flexible. Shifting forward the other way, if we start from earth and we turn to metal, right? When we're attacking the opponent, we want our attack to be as metallic as possible, as hard as possible, right? So just like an axe, if the metal is very soft, it's no good. This is when if we study Xing Yi Chuan, right? This metallic cutting, right, is one of the first things we can learn with Xing Yi. So metal moving forward. And the other 2 are for quick left and right, water and fire, right? There's the 5 steps. But next, I want to talk about the movements that encompass the 8 powers. So the 5 steps and the 8 powers are the sort of philosophical basics of Tai Chi. And so if we start in our form, when we start from the ready, from the salute or from this Tai Chi harmony or however we start, we go shoulder width wide and we settle. And we have grasp the sparrow's tail, ward off, grasp the sparrow's tail, ward off. And then these next movements, roll back, press, push, look left, glance right, double press, split, hook, whip. Those 8 movements are represented geometrically by the trigrams. And I have a piece of animation that I want us to look at. We're going to look at these 8 postures, and then we're going to come back and do some Tai Chi form. So let me see if I can do something here. So this is, in this animation, I'm assuming this is playing on your screens, yeah. We see, I'll let this play, each one is going to repeat a few times, but you'll get the idea. We have ward off, roll back, squeeze, which is G, press, which is on, roll pull, sometimes called Sai. And the reason we call it is because we don't actually grip. We don't do any gripping in Tai Chi. Lia, Zo, which is elbow, and the last one will be Kao. Oh, these are actually playing off screen. It's okay. It will repeat. So these are referred to as the 8 gates, the Ba Men. So ward off. This is used if you look to the left side when we see ward off. The 3 bars, the trigram, and then roll back has the 3 split bars. So I'll make this animation available later. We're going to stay focused on Tai Chi today. But these 8 different ideas are expressed here in the animation. And that's simply a way for us to look at when we do ward off. In the form, we have this type of expanding, right? But my feet are also expanding, and my head top, and Mingmen and Dantian, and my arms are also expanding. And when we do rollback, everything is turning, everything is moving. So we could say ward off is fully stable, right? The representation is the 3 solid bars. And then rollback is everything is moving, which the representation is the 3 broken bars. So we're going to examine this more in the future, but I want to go over what these 8 postures are with the 5 steps, because this is sort of fundamental, because then you'll be able to look into any Tai Chi form and see what's happening with the footwork, with the powers, and also understanding whether what we practice here or what you learn in the future, these 8 concepts. So, by the way, our form also starts with what we refer to as grasp the sparrow's tail left and right. These first 2 movements, turning this left and right, are an expression of a rolling hands type exercise. After we get to the second rolling hands here, after the ward off, we roll back. And then we have press, push, look left, glance right, double press, split, hook, single whip. Those 8 postures, right? And we refer to them as 8. Some of them look left and glance right. This is the same turning power using the upper body. The feet are locked left and right. There's 2 postures. We consider them one posture. It repeats 8 times throughout the form. So let's do the beginning up to hook and single whip for review, and then we're going to come back and do the whole form. So from wherever you're at, allow your feet to touch. Bring your hands together. You can practice this in a very small space. Activate your feet, stepping shoulder width wide. This is Tai Chi Chi Shi. Keep your back and neck straight. Tongue is connected to the upper palate. Breathing, draw a circle on one side. Square step forward, ward off. And then breathing, like a fancy dodgeball catch. This is what we're referring to, grasp the sparrow's tail. Step forward into that square shape, and then ward off, like you're expanding. The next one is roll back. In this form, TC moved his feet, but he said you don't have to. Press. Next is push. Look left. Glance right. Double press. Horizontal split. Hook. Single whip. So by the way, that commentary on rollback, this is maybe more advanced. In our form, when we do rollback, we're turning the feet. And whether you consider this to be more advanced or more primitive, it's simply another way to do things. When I saw how other Tai Chi forms would do a rollback, turn the hands this way, keeping the feet stable to press, I said to my teacher, I said, why don't they move the feet? And he said, energetically inside, the base is turning, right? So we may not be showing it. Because real rollback, remember, everything in Tai Chi is concealed. So real rollback is actually like my feet are moving. If my opponent is warding off, all their power is moving towards me, my feet are moving out of the way, right? So the most extreme rollback would be like a sprawl. So if power is coming towards me, right, I can sprawl, get my feet out of the way. We represent that by turning the feet 90 degrees. And then once that's locked, I can turn the other foot 90 degrees. So this may seem if I'm using my grid, like a weird posture, but this kind of X-stepping, taking my square and putting it this way, is we find it in Shaolin, we find it in Bagua, we find it in Wing Chun, we find it all over the place. So we're actually practicing other techniques while we practice Tai Chi. We can play Bagua, practice our Bagua technique inside the Tai Chi form. So you don't have to move the feet as long as you understand energetically what that trigram, when all three of those bars are moving, it means the feet, all parts are moving. Let's do that one more time and then we'll do the form. So from the beginning, connect your feet, bring your head top up, relax your shoulders, check that your face is relaxed, connect the tongue, relax your tailbone, lift the base of the torso, open shoulder width wide. Grasp the sparrow's tail, right. Step forward, square, ward off, left. Breathing deep, grasp the sparrow's tail, left side. Step forward, ward off, right. Turning, this is roll back. Join the palms facing back to the north, press. Push. Look left, glance right, double press, horizontal, split hands, hook, single whip. Another note, by the way, this is for Rad and anybody watching at home. When we practice this Tai Chi form, this kind of step, my feet are parallel, we're using a square, everything's highly geometric, and this kind of step, we're not using this in the martial art, right? This is for practicing Tai Chi, this is for strengthening and conditioning the legs. By the way, doing the X-stepping exercise, it's an exercise, it's a warm-up, but it's also something we can use to condition the legs, to strengthen the legs and feet. So practicing that will help you get into the form. If we were using this for boxing, I wouldn't face my opponent here, grasp the sparrow's tail. There's just too much of a gate. I would take that same square and I would turn it 90 degrees so that they have to face the corner, right? In Feng Shui, the corner is uncomfortable. This is why if you go to the table at the restaurant, nobody likes to sit at the corner. It feels like it's poking here, right? So, and then the same thing with boxing. We don't want to go into the corner. The reason they don't have a circle is they have a corner so that you can put someone in the corner. So we don't want to be at the corner or in the corner. Here, this is friendly, it's Tai Chi. We can practice keeping this arch shape, right, the whole time while we step and strengthen the legs. But if we face an opponent, we want to close the gate. Let's do Tai Chi. I think we'll have time to do the first and the second section. It looks like we have about 15 minutes. So let's do those and see what kind of time we have left and go from there. Before we do, does anyone have questions, thoughts, comments, ideas? By the way, if you do, you can blurt them out or you can bookmark them. Starting with your feet connected, bring the head top up, relax your shoulders, relax your tailbone. Breathing your hands to the center. Stepping shoulder width wide. The tailbone sinks, the hands float. In the center is equilibrium, breathing. Once the movement starts, it's like a river. There's all one motion. If we add a break, it's so that we can see where the posture is. Catch left, ward off, right. Roll back. If you turn your feet, turn them accurately. If you don't, protect your knees. Join the palms, pressing north. Breathing deep, this is push. Look left. glance right. Double press, schwung on. Horizontal split. I'm turning my square 90 degrees due west. The owl shows hook. Square step. This is single whip. Turning back to the north, my arms, shoulders relax into T-Sol Sanshi. Brush, step square, roll up, and then rolling back down. I'm turning 90 degrees, I'm turning west. I modify the posture a little bit so you can see, to crane, opening the wings. Soe Pipa. Play the harp and then press right to the center. Square step back. Tuibu. Repeating crane, opening the wings, facing west. Turning the waist to play the harp using my forearms. Brush knee, press to the center. Shifting back, brushing off with my left hand. This is holding the moon in the chest. Wei Song Bao Yu. Thumb slides up the center line, hand and foot arriving at the same time. Facing west, pressing to the corner. 45. This is Ban Lan Shui. Square step. Punch, focus power to the center. Ru Feng Subi. Brush, press, press. Turning 90 degrees, facing north. This is embrace tiger, return to mountain. Bring the feet together. Left foot, T-step. Right foot step, square. Palm press to the center. That's Shuan Sen, Kan Shang. Turning body, warning palm, breathing deep to roll back. So these next postures, I'm facing south. Press, push, look left, glance right, double press. Horizontal split hands. I'm facing east at this point. And then hook. This is turn back to look at the moon. Keep your posture accurate. Left hand blocks. Right hand covers. Left hand spear fist. Looking at the moon. Repulse the monkey. Step back. Press to the center. Scoop. Step back. Repulse the monkey, number 2. Repulse the monkey, number 3. Sherfei is a diagonal flying. Shoulder bond. Needle at the bottom of the sea. Hai Di Zhang. Sen Tong Wei. Turning, block, punch, kick, square step, lan, shui, and then keep your head top upright. Di Bu Huas on the legs, fold knees, change step, breathe deep. This is the same 8 movements that we started with. Roll back, press, push, look left, glance right, double press, split, hook, side whip. So I'm parallel, facing north. This is cloud hands in the second section. Press right. And then step and press left. press right. This is cloud hands 2, step, and press left. Breathing deep. Press right, and then step, and press left. Move. And then from here we have the owl show is hook. Turning my square 90 degrees. This is corner whip. Facing the west. This is Gao Tan Ma. Number 1. And then turning south. This is Gao Tan Ma. Number 2. And then turning east. Scoop, brush, press to the center. Brush knee. Owl bu, which is twist step or C-step, press. And then Lo Shi Owl bu is straight step, punch. We're going to turn 180, block, punch, kick, square step. Facing west, lan is parry, shui is punch, zhou hua is left deflect, still zhou hua. Da li means big roll back, keep your spine upright, grip the ground, turning, embrace tiger. Da li is big roll back the other direction, turning, embrace a tiger. Left foot steps behind the right. This is monk scoops the moon from the ocean. Kick, brush, twin fists go to the ears. Stepping back, connect, left side, kick, left side, turning, naturally stepping, 1, 2, 3, connect right side, kick, right side, facing west, block, punch, kick, breathe deep, lan, shui, ru feng, turning, still facing west, press, press. We're going to continue into the third section to do 4 corners. So, embrace tiger, return to mountain. Transition from second to third section, feet together. T-step, kobu. Square step to the corner, arms in free fall. Schwansen, kanshong. Breathing deep to roll back. These are the same 8 movements. We're facing south. Ji is press. An is push. So gu is look left. Yo pan, glance right. Shuang an, double press. Horizontal, split. Hook, facing east. This is side whip on parallel, north and south. This is wild horse parting its mane. Yama fa zhang. 1. Sometimes translated as wild horse shaking its mane. 2. Yama fa zhang. Number 3, and then breathe deep to roll back. Join the palms together. Press. Push. Look left. Glance right. Shuang an, double press. Horizontal. Split hands. Hook. This is side whip, and this is 4 corners, Jade Lady. So going to the northeast, press. Breathe deep, looking first, and then turning, step behind, over and under, press. Looking to the southwest first, close the gate, lift, press, and then looking to the southeast, turning, step back. Whether you go over or under is not important. Scoop, press to the corner. Left grasp the sparrow's tail. Right press down. Press forward. Push. These are the same 8 movements. Look left. Glance right. Double press. Horizontal. Split. Hook. Side whip. And actually from here, just bring your feet back together in the center. Bring your hands together. Take a deep breath. And then while you're here, you feel the chi, you feel the energy. Imagine with your mind, it says where the mind goes, the energy follows. So imagine that you can move your mind around your body and bring everything back to the dantian, to the center. Behind, below the navel. Breathing deep. And then we're going to do some of the same breathing that we started with. So just connect your feet to the ground. And then like a stretch, imagine pulling in with your breath, with your arms. Extend your head top, bringing everything back to the center. So like a sponge, we said, or like a fishing net, can expand and contract when it's full of the chi. Then we can bring it back on board the boat. Or if it's the sponge, while we're here, we're filling up on the outside and then compressing the water into the center. So get power going all the way to the toes and the fingertips and the head top and the bottom, and then letting it all sit to the center. And then bring the feet together. So we're going to actually do another Qigong to close. And it's the reason I want to do another one is because it contains an idea. It has a moving Tai Chi principle in it. So when we talk about all these concepts of the head top and the face being relaxed and the jaw and the shoulders and the hips and all the body being in the right place, those are all sort of static ideas. Even activating the feet, that's dynamic, and so we can start to examine what if we're a little bit late in letting go or early in sticking to the ground, something. One of the dynamic principles of Tai Chi is there's a waist turn in every posture. So whatever style you're practicing, this kind of turning of the waist, whether you're opening crane, opening the wings, cloud hands, right? Every posture has this turning of the waist. So we're going to do the sort of one of the most basic Qigongs we practice in this class is with the feet parallel. Keep your hips locked in place and turning 90 degrees to the side, breathing deep. Bring the hands together in the center. And then mind your legs. Keep the feet, the hips, and the knees pointing forward. So there's no turn or movement in the legs whatsoever. If your body, if your torso is stiff, when you turn this way, you might start to feel this leg turning. So if that's the case, just protect your knee. So going on your own, breathing, turning, and exhaling. So keep your spine straight. By the way, it's past 9:30 if you have a schedule. It's time. We started a little bit late, so we're going to finish just a little bit late as well. Breathing deep for Rad and any people that have not seen this one before. I never learned the name for this one in Mandarin that my teacher taught. It translates, it's a very long name, and it translates to turning around the center, raising the hands up and down. It's not a fancy, cool name, tiger turning or crane flying in the wind or anything like that. It's literally the action that's happening So I never learned the Mandarin for it. But the idea is the same. The center line is turning, and the arms simply, geometrically and perfectly timed, reaching the center, and then reaching the center at the base. On the next one, wherever you're at your own pace, breathing on your own, change directions. Now on this side, I'm facing the left, the west, and I'm inhaling up, and I'm turning. If you like to read the Tai Chi classics or even other Taoist books, the Tao Te Ching, they talk about bellows, and it says the bellows generates infinite power. So breathing, open the arms to pull the ribs and the lungs open. And then just let the arms do the breathing for you. Let the chi raise the hands so there's no effort. We're just turning around the center, the arms going up and down, breathing. So while your torso is open and the energy going up, put something in your mind. Let your fingertips touch at the top, and wherever you're at, do 3 more of the longest, deepest breathing of the week. I'm not counting, by the way, so if you are, you'll have to balance these out later. I'm focused on trying to get the material out. So just relax. Take a deep breath. And then when you're finished, bring your feet together, allow them to touch, and then bring your hands together in the center. Push the back of your head top up, relax your tailbone. As part of your meal, right, while we're standing in Tai Chi Harmony, we're going to do just a brief moment of meditation. There was a question from somebody that said, why do we close the eyes part way when we do the meditation? That's mostly for when we're in the park or when we're in public. When you do meditation at home on your own, you can close your eyes all the way. But remember, we said in Tai Chi, the dots represent the 1% that we don't reach the full extreme. So when you're at home safely on your meditation mat or the place where you can meditate safely, you can reach the extreme and go to the full relaxation. But if you practice in the park, even in the most, there's maybe even security around, we keep the eyes 1% open. There's some crack, right? And we can still meditate. We just leave the infrared cameras, we leave the motion sensors on in case there's something that we need to see. So when you're at home, you can close them all the way. You can leave them open. It doesn't really matter. It's what you choose. But when you're in public, you should be safe. Protect yourself. Activate your feet. Push your head top up. Connect the tongue. And then move your consciousness wherever you think your mind is into your dantian. You'll feel your body adjust naturally again. So try to remember that feeling. Breathing deep. Expanding with breath, with energy. And then leaving your eyes somewhere between open and closed. Put your mind into the dantian, breathing. With your mind's eye looking at yourself, at your center. Breathing into your center. Take a second to give thanks, give gratitude to yourself, for your mind, your body, your energy, your chi. And then move where you think your mind is in your dantian up into the center of your thorax, into your heart, the heart chakra. Take a second to smile to your heart. Whether you got a good one or a bad one doesn't really matter. It's working 24/7, 365, or at least it should be. If it stopped, you wouldn't be in class. So take a second to smile to yourself, breathing energy into your heart. And then one more time, from where you think your mind is, move it up into the center of your brain. You can think of the third eye chakra. And the same thing, smiling to your brain. You have an extraordinary computer up there doing all kinds of amazing things. Breathing into the center of your brain. Imagine that you can let your brain relax like a piece of bread or a muffin that's been squashed. And then after getting some air, it can open to its full. So unravel your brain, allow it to expand, breathing into it. Take a second to smile to your brain, giving thanks for having such a miraculous computer. And then one more time, move your energy all the way up to the crown chakra. And as if you're looking down at yourself, take a second to smile to yourself, breathing all parts at once. And that's it. If you have questions, thoughts, comments, email me, text me.
Thank you.
Oh, by the way, if you, I can get you the video that we looked at earlier with the 8 powers. Those are sort of a this thing. If, by the way, if it's time, so if you gotta go, keep your schedule. But this animation that we were looking at earlier, ward off, Pong, roll back, Li. You can see the trigram and the character. The Mandarin Hanzi is next to it. Each of these are pretty central. Squeeze is Ji, is a press, right? So the red indicates where the power is being generated, the feet. Here, Sai is this hook. What's the next one? Split, right? Is this splitting motion. And then what's next? Elbow, right? Which is look left, glance right. So, what's the next one? Cow, shoulder bone. So these little spheres, these little infographics that we've made here are sort of representative of something. So if you email me, if you text me something, if you give me some reminder, I can either send you a link or send you the video via that format. So enjoy your weekend. By the way, next weekend there will be, I believe we'll have class Saturday. I'm not planning to travel, but Sunday there will not be class. Tomorrow there will. Wednesday, Saturday there will. Next Sunday, July 5th, I think is not. I'm not sure the dates. So anyway, call, email, text if you have questions. Enjoy your weekend. Have a great day.